What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, baby, we're going to talk about the recent news that Mack Brown will not be returning after the 2024 campaign. And basically, Bubba Cunningham had to sit him down and tell him, hey, listen, they tried to come to an agreement. And every report that I've been able to see said that Mack wanted to return. Bubba Cunningham said, yeah, I don't think so, man. It's not a good idea. We're going to go in a different direction. And basically, he's willing to fork over the money to buy him out and go with someone new. Now, we don't know who this coach is. We have no idea yet. There's a couple of names on the short list that everybody's talking about. But before we get into that, I want to take a second, man, to just let Coach Mack Brown know, in the very small chance that he watches this. Coach, I think I can speak for most of Tar Heel Nation, man, when I say that we love you, we care about you, and we are extremely grateful for all that you've done for this university, both in your first stint and in your second stint. Now, look, I have been a huge advocate that I thought that, it was time to get this done, and maybe it's a year later than what I anticipated. But there are no hard feelings. And, I do. I really do. I wish you all the best and the success in all of your future endeavors. And you will always be a Tar Heel in my mind, man. Head coach Mack Brown was 113, 78, and 1 at the University of North Carolina. Obviously, we know that he came back in November 2018. That's when he announced that he was returning. And I was a huge proponent for this. I was super excited because the last 2 years of the Larry Fedora era, we're talking about 5 wins, Nate Elliott not being able to move the daggone football. It was bad. There was no juice in the program. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. Everything was just falling in on itself. And Mack Brown gave instant credibility, credence. He brought the light back to Chapel Hill. And I was super excited about it. And I am fully convinced that had COVID and the NIL situation not happened, Carolina and Mack Brown were going to be able to do something special, just like he was talking about. He was talking about ACC championships. He was talking about competing for a national championship. And I believe before NIL, because we don't have that thing figured out right now at UNC, I believe that he was onto something, and I believe that he was going to have opportunities to deliver on that promise. Carolina went from winning 5 games in 2 seasons to going 7-6 with the Military Bowl win. He was able to flip Sam Howell from Florida State, which was huge. And then Carolina goes to, obviously, the Orange Bowl the next year, New Year's Six Bowl, man. So everything was just really, really trending up. And then stinking COVID happened, bro. Like, COVID hit hard. And not only did COVID hit hard, but then you had this whole NIL thing that Carolina just did not get out in front of. And it changed the game. It really changed the game to where, it's no longer about brand. It's no longer all about brand and what you can do in convincing recruits to come here and get a great education. And it's a 40-year commitment. And, part of the Carolina family, these kids are looking for how much money they can make. And, I understand and I don't understand at the same time. So it changed the game. And Mack had to navigate through that. And we're talking about somebody who's been doing this for 35 plus years at the time. And, he just wasn't able to necessarily figure everything out as quickly as maybe what was necessary. And then you saw that with, he retained a lot of guys on the roster, which was great. But we did lose, an important offensive tackle. And we've seen how important the offensive tackles are this season. But NIL cost us an offensive tackle, man. So, there's a lot of things that kind of went from, us trajectory, the trajectory, excuse me, my voice, man. The trajectory going up to like kind of plateauing and then trending downwards over the course of the last probably 1.5 years, 2 years, man. So I think that this is appropriate, and I think that it's about time, man. But it doesn't take away from all that Mack Brown has accomplished at the University of North Carolina, man. Like I said, 113, 78, and 1. I think he was 44-32 in his second stint. Obviously, he still at least got the NC State game. Um, but it just wasn't enough, man. When you couple, 3 straight years of finishing 1-4, when you couple a 3-0 start this year, and then just an absolute shellacking at the house by James Madison, followed by a blown 21-point lead against Duke, or a 20-point lead against Duke, and then you go on a 4-game losing streak, and then you come back. You have obviously the unfortunate passing of Tylee Craft. You go on a little stinking run, 3 straight wins, only to just completely not show up against Boston College. And we've seen that way too often also in Mack Brown 2.0. Just teams not showing up. We saw it in the South Carolina Bowl game back in 2022. We saw it against Boston College. We saw it against NC State last year, which I never thought would be something that we would ever see as a Carolina team not show up against NC State. But, I think Boston College was the straw that broke the camel's back. But I think that this was kind of in the works since the JMU game. It was kind of an understood view that this was probably going to happen unless something drastic, something crazy stinking transpires. So a lot of people are upset about the timing. I'm not upset about the timing at all. I actually like the timing. Kind of weird that it's a Tuesday, but I like that it's before the NC State game because there's a lot of seniors and graduates on this team. Those seniors and graduates have never beaten NC State. Mack Brown has lost 3 straight to NC State, just like those seniors and graduates. So there should be all kinds of stinking juice in order to lay it all on the line this Saturday. This is like the Alamo, bro. Back against the wall. Your back against my back. We're fighting through this thing, man. This is a last stand. This is what this team needs to take into this game, bro. And Keenan should be rocking. If you're in North Carolina, if you're a Tar Heel, bro, get your stinking ass to Keenan Stadium. Sell that bad boy out. Be loud and be proud. And send him out on his daggone shield, man. Let's think and help the defense. Let's help Mack Brown. Let's let him know that we love him. We appreciate him. There's no hard feelings. He is a Tar Heel legend, and he needs to go out just like that. A Tar Heel legend. Now, I like it. Like I said, I love it. Send him out on his shield, man. Now, it's still up in the air whether he's going to coach the bowl game or not. But, as far as the coach to succeed him, there's a couple of names on the short list, bro. A couple of names that I like. Some of the names that I'm not a big fan of. One of them is John Summerall, the Tulane coach. The only issue with him, even though he's 32-6 at Troy and Tulane, 21-2 against conference competition, he played linebacker at Kentucky. Kentucky's head coaching job was kind of up in the air, so I'm kind of worried about maybe him, right now, because I just don't know if he'd wait for that Kentucky job, if it would open up. But I like him. I think he's a great head coach. He'd be really good. They got Barry Odom, UNLV head coach. Wouldn't be in my top 5. Now, I like Jamie Chadwell. Out of Liberty. He's 16-25 at Liberty in Coastal Carolina. He's made those teams pretty good. He did play in the Fiesta Bowl with the Flames in 2023, and he's familiar with the recruiting area. You know what I'm saying? So he is not a stranger to this area, and I think that he's possibly a decent pick. You got Penn State's offensive coordinator, who doesn't have any head coaching experience, but he does have a very innovative offense. But I'd really like a guy that's a defensive-minded guy, because that's something that we've been so bad at lately is as a team, as a program, is defense, man. They've got Dan Mullen on here as a possible name. And then you got a couple of other guys, man, that are former Tar Heels. Like, I think it's Arthur Smith, Penn State OC. I know that Jeff Saturday's been tossed out around there a lot just because he's a Tar Heel. Listen, I would love to get a qualified Tar Heel in here, man. I really do love the idea of keeping it in the family, but it would have to be just that, man. Somebody who's qualified. Somebody who has some experience, who can win, who can recruit, who can, who's got some swag, bro. Unfortunately, that's one of the things that these kids are looking for, man. It's got to be a younger dude. It's got to be a guy that's not, he's less than 50 years old, if you will. that's what Carolina needs, man. You got the Jordan brand, you got the Carolina blue, you got beautiful facilities and great people, and you need somebody to come in here, man, with a little bit of swag. I've even seen Deion's name thrown in there. Let me tell you something. There's no way that Deion Sanders comes to Carolina, and I don't necessarily think that'd be a great fit anyway. Even though Carolina blue, Deion with the swag, it kind of seems plausible, but I don't really know about that one, man. So my two guys right now, just off the jump, and this is before I've really delved deep into this thing, is John Sumrall, the Tulane coach, and then Jamie Chadwell from Liberty, man. Those are my personal guys. We're talking about reasonable guys. If you said, Russ, if you could choose anybody in the country to take over this head coaching spot, obviously give me stinking Nick Saban. He's on the shelf. Come on, Nick. Bring it in here, baby. Come make Carolina great. But we all know that's not stinking happening. So I'm going to stick with Jamie and my man, John. That's who I'd like to see take this thing over right now. Like I said, not a final answer. Just two guys that I'm really looking towards as far as tentatively taking that position right now. So I got to do a lot more research, to be completely honest with you, man. But like I said, bittersweet day. Love Mac. Love all that he's done. And the most important thing, though, is that I love this program. I love this team. I love this university. I love the people. I love the fans. And this is something that, it needed to be done, man. So I'm really interested in what you think in this, Tar Heel Nation. So comment down in the comment section, bro. What do you think about the timing? What do you think about Coach Mack Brown not being given another year despite wanting to come back? What do you think about his buyout? I think it's like $15 million. And who do you want to see take the helm for the Tar Heels? If you haven't already, man, please like, share, and subscribe to the Tar Heel Huddle, man. I'm nobody, but you're going to get my stinking serious, God's honest truth opinion about how I'm feeling as a Carolina blue bleeding, diehard basketball and football fan. So I love you guys, and I'm excited about this opportunity to kind of move on from the foundation that Mac has laid, and I'm hoping that we can build on it and do something stinking great, man. Maybe some growing pains, but I think at the end of the day, man, everything's going to work out. It's going to be worth it. So let me know what you think, baby, and we'll catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.